So we are learning the end of the Maimer Vayikra, which is on Beis, Daf Beis, and then we are going to be learning the Maimer Adam Ki Yakriv. So the Maimer was talking about the difference between Moshe in the end of Shemais and Moshe in Vayikra, and explaining that the Vayikra process makes Moshe a makabel and allows him to be able to communicate to the Eibishter in a way that he does not need an intermediary, which means that he's able to communicate, he's able to understand and appreciate how Elokus is, how God as He is a creator and God as He is independent of creation are one, and Moshe was able to appreciate this completely. And this is something that every Jew is capable of appreciating, and not every Jew is capable of perceiving and understanding. This is what the Rebbe explains in today's Maimer. He says that this Etzpashtusah Moshe is b'chol dara, that when we learn from Moshe, which is when we learn Torah in a state of bitul, because Moshe is the essential quality of bitul, we have the ability to enter the Oil Ma'ed, so to speak. We have the ability to appreciate this as well, and the way that we do this is by learning Torah with Talmudei Biyadei, which is that we hold on to the Torah, that the Torah is personally relevant to us by learning the Torah in a way in which we associate it with Gashmias, that we connect it to Gashmias. And the other way that we do this is by the performance of mitzvahs, that the performance of mitzvahs is that the mitzvahs are mitzvahs HaMelech, are the Yivarim de Malka, and they're not just they're shluchim of the Eibishter, but unlike the shluchim of the Malach that are the Malachim, the mitzvahs have the ability to give us a complete perception of the reality of God, of the reality of God being both independent of creation and being the creator. The second Maimer is Adam Ki Yakriv Mikem. The Rebbe begins by discussing a few grammatical inconsistencies in the pasuk, and he goes into the idea of us having a nefesh bahamas and nefesh elokis. He explains that the nefesh elokis has the responsibility of refining the nefesh bahamas, and by doing so, the nefesh elokis will actually gain, because the nefesh elokis will have a tremendous aliyah. And the process is that there's an asrusa dla'ilã, an original inspiration that arouses the nefesh elokis to engage with the nefesh bahamas. The nefesh bahamas then needs to be engaged in the asrusa dla'ilã process, and then this follows with an asrusa dla'ilã. And the Rebbe explains that what we find that people lose their inspiration very quickly has to do with them not taking full advantage of the original asrusa dla'ilã by applying it to their everyday lives, and instead by just living in this world of inspiration, and that inspiration, as soon as it's over, stops and completely fades away. Whereas if the person makes the effort to engage and makes the effort to apply it, the inspiration can be extremely meaningful and can have a permanent and lasting effect. And this goes to the pasuk of Adam Ki Yakriv. The Rebbe is going to read the first Adam as a reference to Atzilus, as a reference to Elokus, to the inspiration that comes, the Asrusa Dla'ilã. And it says that Adam Ki Yakriv Mikem, the inspiration comes down to us, and then we have to respond with the Takrivu Karbanchem. We need to bring our own Korban. We need to use this inspiration and respond to this inspiration by reciprocating and by offering up our behema. And the other paradigm or paradigmatic pasuk that the Alter Rebbe is going to use is the pasuk of Mashcheni arecha acharecha narutza havieni hamelech chodarav, that it begins with the Mashcheni. It begins with us, with the nefesh elokis hearing the asrusa dla'ilã and getting inspired, and chases after and arouses the nefesh bahamas, and then the nefesh bahamas, nefesh elokis work together. Acharecha in the plural, acharecha narutza in the plural, they respond by chasing after God. And the process of refining the nefesh bahamas, the Alter Rebbe explains, is by offering up our behema, which and practically what that means is, first of all, iskafia, right, is holding ourselves back from things, but then more meaningfully is the follow up of his hapcha, and that has to do with interacting with the source of the nefesh bahamis, which is the malachim that produce the nefesh bahamis, and that's what we say in the birchos of Kriya Shema. And when we offer up our tzayin or our bakar, when we offer up our different forms of animalism, the two can work together and can be offered. The two work together to be drawn after God, and we are ultimately helped out by this with what the pasuk says. As the pasuk continues, Havyani hamelech hadarav, that the king brought me to his chambers, which the Alter Rebbe says is a reference to the Torah that we learned before we were born, and that the Torah helps us to be inspired, helps our nefesh elokis use that inspiration to inspire the nefesh bahamis and to use it together. And the two tools that the Alter Rebbe suggests are ways of actually practically bringing this about is being asik in Torah, is learning Torah, and finally he says is practically doing mitzvahs maasiyos.